What's your name?
Larry.
Larry. All right, so you understand what grace is, right? Because the brother was going over with you with grace. What is grace?
I can't explain it, but I understand what it means.
Okay, we're going to go over it because I want to make sure you fully understand what the brother's telling you. All right?
I can understand it, but I can't.
I get you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you out. Go back to Romans 6:1.
Romans chapter 6 and verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin?
Which is what? Because he went over it. What's sin? Breaking God's laws. So Paul is saying, should we continue breaking God's laws?
Okay, well, then again, you know what? Only God's laws is
Hold on, I'm with you. I'm with you.
only God's laws is correct.
Hold on, I'm with you because look, remember, Paul is addressing our people. He's asking a question for them. So that's why we got to listen, because Paul is addressing the people. He had to deal with a lot of issues that was going on in the church. Read it again for my brother, Larry.
What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin?
So you see how he's saying it? He's talking, imagine, you got to visualize the Bible, our people. Hold on, I'm with you, Larry. He's like, look, should we continue breaking God's laws, right? Read.
That grace may abound.
Because our people believe that in these times right now that grace is going to last forever. Grace was never meant to be permanent. Like he was bringing out about, for an example, paying your rent. You got that grace period, but you still got to pay. So grace was never meant to stay and be permanent. We got to get ourselves together. That's the grace period. Get yourself right so you can continue to keep God's laws.
Bring it out. God forbid.
That's what he's saying. Grace is not meant to be forever. It's not permanent. That's why he's saying don't continue in sin because it's going to result in you dying. That's what Paul is saying. Jump down to verse 23.
Verse 23. For the wages of sin.
So he's saying this is the wages for breaking God's laws, continuing in sin. The payment, that's what wages mean. The wages of sin is what?
Is death.
So that's what this whole chapter is addressing. Paul is saying, look, we can't continue like that because we're going to die. We're going to die. And not that death where we all think, oh, I'm just going to go on the ground. No, he's talking about that everlasting death.
Bring it out.
That's what Paul is trying to prevent our people from going through. Go back up. Read verse 2 again.
Verse 2. God forbid.
So he's saying, no, we can't continue in sin. God forbid, meaning no. Read.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
Because we're supposed to be dead to sin. Now that we're in the grace of Christ, because Christ is letting us know that, hey, we don't have to do a sacrifice anymore. We have the faith of Christ to get ourselves together. We can repent now, right? So grace is supposed to teach us what? To keep God's commandments. Go to Titus 2:11.
Bring it out.
This is what grace is really, all right? Because our people got it confused in these churches. They're thinking that, oh, all I got to do is just pray every night, and I'm good. I can continue to eat this pork. I can continue to do sin. I can continue to do whatever I want, as long as I say, God forgive me. And that's the mindset of, not saying that's you, but that's the mindset of most of our people, right? Right. Read.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 11. For the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all men.
So the grace that is offered to all our people is read it again, I'm sorry.
For the grace of God that bringeth salvation.
Right, grace is going to get us salvation because it's a grace period to keep God's commandments. Not shaving our head, not shaving our face. Women wearing dresses, men wearing fringes, keeping the commandments, right? Read.
Hath appeared to all men, teaching us.
Doing what?
Teaching us.
So grace is supposed to teach us what?
How to live.
How to live by, what are we supposed to live by? God's commandments, you right. Read.
Teaching us that denying ungodliness.
Which is what? Sin.
And worldly lust.
Worldly lust, the things that you see our people always getting caught up in. This is worldly lust. Going in there buying, what? Grits? No, not necessarily grits.
That's what I'm going after.
Catfish. Because guess what? What's today?
I can eat fish.
Guess what's today? Saturday, which is the Sabbath.
That's right.
Sabbath, we're not supposed to buy ourselves. So no, you can't go up in there and buy right now. Wait till tomorrow.
Well, I don't really need to because I have some at home.
Yeah, eat what you got at home. You ain't got to go in there because guess what? Larry, guess what you're doing if you go in there and buy something? You're breaking God's commandments.
That's right.
But understand, you can't buy today.
Right.
Today is not that day.
get my medicine. I go back home. I don't have to buy.
Right, don't buy nothing. That's what grace is supposed to teach us. On the Sabbath, we don't buy. We don't sell. We don't do any of that. Read.
Teaching us
That
denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly.
live what?
Soberly.
Not getting drunk and high. Read.
Righteously.
Keeping God's commandments. That's how you live righteous. Read.
And godly in this present world.
No.
And in this present world.
So in this present world, we have to be keeping the commandments, not just the 10. Because guess what? The 10 summarizes all the laws that God gave us. Get Baruch 4:1 real quick. I'm going to show you, because all people just, again, these churches are not teaching us anything. They say just keep the 10. The 10 is summary of all the law. It's of all the law. Read this.
Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book.
The what?
This is the book.
No, only 10.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
So this whole book is the commandments of God that we should be living and by. Because understand, look, in the Christian church, they do what? Do they read the Old Testament in the Christian church? Do they read the Old Testament in the Christian church? They used to, but guess what they tell you? Look, go to Matthew and start from there. How do you get a book and start in the middle of the book? Does that make sense? You got to read the whole Bible. That's how you get the understanding of the law. That's how you learn to keep the God's commandments. Hey, officer, come back up. All right? That's what we out here trying to, this is what the brother's trying to relate to you, because guess what? Us as, you my brother. I don't see nothing going, I don't see nothing happen to you. That's loving your neighbor. That's true loving your neighbor. It's your people. Not somebody that just live next to you. We showing you love. And it's vice versa. Because if you know the law and you see me doing something wrong, you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to correct me. Right, you're supposed to correct that brother too. That's not of the Bible.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.